But yeah, yeah. Urban Therapy with Sun Show, baby. All right, so today we talking about getting down on yourself with no help. Getting down on yourself with no help. How does it happen? Why does it happen? Why would it happen? Football Sunday, baby. Uh, yeah. TK, right? Grown woman don't try. Stacy White, Dimples. I hope everybody's doing good. Everything is gonna be alright. Cause I said so to you. Uh, uh. Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should as well. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about getting down on yourself with no help. Getting down on yourself with no help. How does it happen? Why would it ever happen? Well, it happens. Sometimes you can just be, doing what you do, creating what you create, working on what you're working on. And for some reason, without anybody dissing you, without anybody criticizing you, without anybody trying to coach you, without anybody trying to direct you, you just say to yourself, what is all of this shit for, man? What am I doing? Why is this not good enough? How come I'm not blowing up? Why are other people doing more? Excuse me, this cold is like, you gonna love me? I tell you what, this cold that I got, that motherfucker don't need no motivation. It's like, I'm gonna hang around with you for a whole week. We on our 8th day, baby, and we together. Me and you are together. You're gonna love me. It is what it is. But yeah, sometimes you without anybody assisting you to have bad thoughts about yourself or what you're doing or who you are or what you're involved with, you get down on yourself. Sometimes you might express it to other people, and sometimes you might just keep it to yourself. It's not a good way to feel. It's not a good way to feel, and it's not something that everybody expresses to everyone else. But when it comes out, it comes out. And even if it doesn't come out to other people, having it within yourself is a problem within itself, and it's bad enough. It's like self-torture. Torture, baby, torture. So that's what we're talking about today. Getting down on yourself with no help. How does it happen? Why are you lacking motivation that you had when you started out on a project? Now, for a lot of people may start out on a project and because it's not moving along as well as you projected that it would, or the idea that isn't catching on to people like you thought it would. It's not easy when you see other people doing what you might be doing or doing their thing, and it just seems like everything they do turns to gold. But for you, you have to work harder, you have to do more. And even though you may be making strides and getting ahead and making inroads in whatever it is that you are doing, you may just not feel in your heart of hearts that it's going the way that you wanted to go. And now here you are, damn near thinking about quitting or throwing in the towel or changing direction or doing a whole new reboot. Fuck out of here, man. Stay on your grizzy. Stay on your grizzy. Tamika Macklin, what's good? How you feeling? Good to see you. I remember I was struggling with your name before. I'm gonna just leave it at Tamika. I'm gonna just leave it at Tamika. I'm gonna just leave it at Tamika. It's all good. Good to see you. And what up, Drip? What up, Drip? Was good. And Moped Mike, thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Moped Mike says, I'm just listening. I'm working my shift at the city wastewater plant. That's what's up. Shout out to the city wastewater plant. Good shit. T King says, hi, go Birds. Absolutely. You know, we got a job to do later on. We got a job to do later on. You know, offense, defense, and special teams. We got a job that we got to do later on. I have to have we got to have a long, a 3-hour talk with the Detroit Lions. And I don't know if they're going to like what we have to say. But it's all good, man. You know, getting down on yourself with no help. Getting down on yourself with no help. That's like where the seeds of depression come in. And we're not necessarily talking about being depressed. It can just be that things aren't progressing as fast or as well as you had projected them to, and you know you're looking for more. There are a lot of different ways that this can play out, but we're gonna take a look at them. We're gonna take a look at one of them, two of them. We're gonna take a look at all of them. We're gonna take a look at all of them. So that's how it's going down on the Urban Therapy with Son show today. You know, just relax. Sit back, relax, and chill. We're going to do our thing. T. King says the 27th, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to beat them. Yeah. They don't have what it takes to win games this year. They're not that good any year, even the years where they're good. When the playoffs come, they're not that good. These ancient 1990s Dallas Cowboys or your 1970s Dallas Cowboys. And you know what the funny thing is about the Dallas Cowboys? Those were their decades, the 1970s and the 1990s. Yet people treat them like they have always been a winning franchise. And they haven't. They didn't do shit in the 80s, and they didn't do shit in the 2000s. And here we are in 2025. But you know, I'm gonna let them get down on themselves with no help. But they need a lot of help getting down on themselves, because Cowboy fans love the Cowboys. You can't tell them. Every year I be hearing them, this is our year, this is our year. We got 5 rings, baby, and this is our year. I'm like, okay. All right. I hear you. T. King says a lot of people in my family are Commanders fans. Woof. I ain't gonna lie, my dude T. I wouldn't want to be y'all. Wouldn't want to be y'all the Commanders. Yo, I call it the curse of Doug Williams. Doug Williams was your first black quarterback. MVP, and they shitted on him, and I never forgave the Redskins for that shit. And then RG3, what a goddamn disgrace. And now it's JD5. What a time to be alive. Gotta do better, baby. Yo, wouldn't want to be the committee. They the garbage. They're not like that, kid. But shout out to your fan. They got 3 Super Bowls though. So the Eagles are pulling up the rear as far as Super Bowls are concerned. So I get it. Moped Mike says, my mom's side from Eastern PA. Phillipsburg, New Jersey. So we got Philly and Giants fans. All right. You know, y'all shocked me. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to go at Commanders and Giants or Dallas fans today. It's cool though. It's cool. But this is what we say in my neck of the woods. This is what we say. We say, Giants suck, Redskins swallow, and the Cowboys take it up the ass. Go Eagles, Giants suck, Redskins swallow, and the Cowboys take it up the ass. Go Eagles, Giants suck, Redskins swallow, and the Cowboys take it up the ass. Go Eagles, Giants suck, Redskins swallow, and the Cowboys take it up the ass. I said Giants suck, Redskins swallow, Cowboys take it up the ass. ass. Giants up, Redskins swallow, Cowboys taking up the ass. Giants up, Redskins swallow, Cowboys taking up the ass. Take it up the ass. Take it up the ass. I said the Giants up, Redskins swallow, and the Cowboys taking up the ass. Yeah, I'm not going to say Commanders because that shit is ass. I wouldn't name my team no shit. Yo, I'll pass. Y'all never gonna see that bowl again. Yo, it's the Eagles, and we gonna score another win. Because we hardly ever lose nowadays. People be on their knees praying that we do today. But it's never gonna work out like that. Yo, we gonna do that shit and make them fall flat. Yo, Giants suck, the Redskins swallow. They got the whole pole in their mouth to tomorrow. And yo, the Cowboys taking it up the ass. And yo, Jerry Jones is gonna make sure they hit fast. Yo, how they living? I say go Birds. Fuck that shit. You understand what I heard? I ain't really mean to get into this thing, but I can't help that shit. Yo, because we the Kings now. Yo, the whole league gotta bow down. Yeah, Super Bowl champs, and we keep the whole world amped. And our shit is stamped. Yo, show your shit. Yo, you can come through the link. Yo, it's... Put my shit away. Y'all done made me change course on the whole shit of the whole night, huh? You know what I'm saying? I made me change my shit. But it's all good though. It's all good though. Getting down on yourself with no help. Getting down on yourself with no help. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, my folks? What are we doing? What are we doing? Y'all know what we doing. Y'all know what we doing. Listen, that's what we talking about today. Let's have this conversation. Matter of fact, let me get my chair. Let's talk about what we need to talk about right now. Talk about what we need to talk about right now. Getting down on yourself with no help. What is the reason? If you've ever done it yourself, what would be the reason that you have done it? Why would you get down on yourself about whatever is going on with you and whatever you're doing? Is it that you don't do what you do well and you're aware of it? And if what you do is not being done well by yourself, why isn't anybody else talking about it? I mean, you ever really think about that? Like, if what you are doing is so corny or whack, I gotta get the sugar on this. Oh, hold up. This shit wanna be on the booze. This shit wanna be on the bullshit today. We gonna be all right, though. We gonna be all right. Everything gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. Think it won't. So yeah, getting down on yourself with no help. Why would anybody start feeling bad about who they are, what they're doing, and what they're a part of if nobody is dissing them, if nobody is fronting on them, if nobody is, if people are showing up to showing up to your performances. And that's not necessarily saying that you're in show business or whatever, but your performance and your fans or your crowd is whoever motivates you or supports you or patronizes you. That's who it is. That's who it is, and that's what it is. So why do we get to the point where we don't feel good about ourselves and what we're doing and what we're a part of? So as y'all can see, I put up a poll question. Please participate in the poll question because it helps. It helps us to communicate better and to get a general understanding of how the public feels about whatever it is that we're speaking on. Now, I've been doing this show. I've been on this platform for double-digit years, easily. And In my opinion, I should have millions of views and millions of subscribers and all of that. And it hasn't gotten to that point. And trust me, plenty of times I've asked myself, I've scratched my head and thought, like, what are you doing this for? Like, why are you doing this? Like, does anybody give a shit about this? And one thing I've learned through the whole thing, trying to stay mentally tough, is that you have to decide, you have to really make a decision about why you do something. You got to really, anything that you start, if you're really passionate about it, you have to think about why you're doing it. Because if you can't find a viable, good reason for why you're doing something, you can't expect other people to believe in it either. What's going on, my brother from another mother, Norris Hill? Sit back, relax, do your thing, Max, and chill. Good to see you all the time. All the time, my dude, all the time. So yeah, so plenty of times I've had to think, times when YouTube lets me in the algorithm, coming from Facebook onto YouTube Live. You have to kind of keep searching and try to find your voice and what works for you and who you are. And if you do, and when you do that, when you do those things, the likelihood that you're going to start to persevere will get higher and higher. Because you kind of have to find what is going to motivate you and what is going to protect you from the negative thoughts. Psychologically speaking, whenever you have a negative thought, you're supposed to block it out. You're supposed to get rid of it. You're supposed to counter it with a good thought. And anybody who has tried to do this and failed at it knows that negative thoughts are a lot easier to achieve than positive thoughts, because you can get negative thoughts by doing nothing. Right? You can get negative thoughts by doing nothing. You ain't got to try. It'll be right there. Negativity will be right there welcoming you, like, yo, what up, my dude? Yo, I'm just over here chilling. And if you want to come over here and be jealous of everybody else and be envious of everybody else and wonder how come everybody has everything and you don't have nothing, yo, I got a spot for you. Matter of fact, bring a friend. We having us a pity party tonight. You know what I mean? Luther Vandross style. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Oh, yeah. Tonight we're having a pity party. Move back them tables and chairs. Man, fuck this. Man, this is a... Fuck this cup. Fuck this cup. This cup is on some bullshit. This is making me have negative thoughts. But I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, because I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm over here trying to teach the lesson today. I'm not gonna be the lesson today. No. I'm gonna find me a way to win. Start now, brothers. Start now, sisters. So it starts right now with getting me a better cover to this whack-ass cup. Let me see. See if I've achieved my objective already. No. So it's not the top, it's the actual cup. And why? Is there a cut in it? So hold on, let me see. Why is it that same area? Yeah, fuck that. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just not gonna be able to. It's all right. I'm gonna just have to do the cup open. because it's the top that's no. It's the cut. I'm like, did I drop this joint and crack it? Because that's what it's acting like, but I don't see no cracks. Is that a crack? I don't know. Okay. I don't see no cracks. But we can get our drink on. So Carlos said, when you fighting those cups, it cracks me. Yo, I can't stand. Yo, I swear, and it only happens when I do the show. I carry these cups when I go to work. They don't be spilling at all. I be like, so let me get this straight. You only spill when it's in front of other people. When I'm in the cockpit of the vehicle, you ain't spilling. You ain't messing up my new shirts. You ain't doing none of that. And they just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm with you all the way, brother. You know what I mean? I'm giving you the good tea. And you want to front on me? But anyway. Getting down on yourself with no help. How does it happen? How does it happen? Why would it happen? Why would it ever happen? Why? Let me ask y'all this. When was the last time you've been down on yourself? And don't lie. You ain't got to lie to me. You know what I mean? Because you lie to me, you lie to yourself. You ain't got to say nothing. I can't make you do it. But when was the last time you got down on yourself? I tell y'all, the last time I got down on myself really was it was like I put up a couple of short videos. I put up this one video and it just would not, like it wasn't getting no views. It just wouldn't do it. And it was a reel. It wasn't one of these. I know what these do at certain times, you know what I'm saying? But it was a 12, 13 second video. You know, if you want views, you make a short John, just saying a little something, and they normally roll over and do well. The attention span of people these days is like, I mean, so yeah, I put up this video, and it wasn't moving. No 100 views, no 2. I'm used to that shit shooting up to 500, shooting up to 1,000 or more. That shit was like, it wouldn't even reach 100. So I deleted the video. And I reposted it. Like there must be a corruption with the video. I reposted the video and it was still like, I said no, nigga. And I was like, so I started getting down on myself like, man, they let me in the algorithm when they want to let me in the algorithm, and then they push me out of the algorithm when they want to. Ain't nothing I can do about this shit. I don't know how the algorithm works. Nobody really knows how it works. Sometimes you hot and sometimes you not, and these not times be lasting too long. Didn't nobody say nothing to me. Didn't nobody do nothing to me. I came to all of these negative conclusions all on my own. All on my own. No help. Nobody did nothing. Nobody said nothing. And at the end of it, I had to ask myself, why? Why? Like, why am I doing this to myself? And it's not like I haven't, in everybody's life, they take a fall or a dip, whatever. You get yourself back together, you get back on and you do what you got to do, right? Well, for some reason, I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And this content creation shit, it's not as easy as it may look. Y'all see me speaking in front of y'all. That's why people come on here sometimes and they be trolling. They be like, I could do that shit easily. And you know why you think you could do it easily? Because you see me doing it and I make it look easy. Like it's nothing. But a lot of people can't turn on a camera or get on stage and talk in front of a bunch of people. A lot of people can't do it. You're going to worry about how it's going to be received and how you're going to look. And if people are going to think that, what you're talking about is important or funny or good or decent or, something that they should patronize or listen to. So it's not as easy as it may look, but you gotta push through the tough times, the hard times, baby. But there is something inside of me that makes me always think that the end is near. Like, yeah, all those other times I was able to make a comeback, but not this time. It's going to be a wrap. And I'm wrong every time. I'm wrong every time. And I'm glad I'm wrong every time because the end would have happened years and years ago. I don't want to leave my people behind like that. For those who give a shit. You know what I mean? You know how it go. So, getting down on yourself for no reason. I mean, with no help. It's hot in here, man. Or is it just me? Am I moving around too much? Feel a little warm in here. But yeah, getting down on yourself with no help. It absolutely can happen, and it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. What up, Johnny West? My people's Johnny West is in the building, and Mia Cunningham, Mia Cunningham. How you feeling? Good to see you. But yeah, like I said, this shit can happen to anybody. It can just follow you like a dark cloud. But if you allow it to affect you over and over and over again, then it becomes a practice. Then it's going to be really hard to ever stay positive because you have allowed the negative to win time and time again. And trust me, negativity will always be in the game, just waiting to score again, waiting to make a comeback, waiting to make a comeback. So you got to constantly stay on your grind to get him out of the way, him or her out of the way. Because I don't know what y'all negativity, I don't know what the gender is of y'all negativity, but mine is definitely a male. Hating ass nigga. You ain't shit. You corny. You're not as good as such and such. My negative thoughts are definitely a male. Yo, I ain't never had a woman talk to me like that. Johnny West says, scared to touch the Philly game. Good luck. I mean, we hardly ever lose. I never thought I would say no shit like that about the Eagles, but it's true. We hardly ever lose. We don't be losing, man. We do not be losing. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Giants. Shout out to the Broncos. They beat us. But we don't be losing. We be pulling it out. It be ugly. It be like, y'all got lucky. But at the end of those games, it be W on our side and L on the other side. So why would I think anything different? You know what I mean? The Lions gonna come in here tonight. But there's an old saying about the Detroit Lions. They say the Lions are always going to be the Lions. That's why they never been to a Super Bowl. It's one thing to never have won a Super Bowl, but to have never got to a Super Bowl, there aren't a whole lot of teams that can say that. But there are teams that can say that. The Lions can't say it. The Lions can say it. The Browns can say it. Jacksonville Jaguars can say it. I ain't mad at the Jacksonville Jaguars because they were an expansion team, so they don't have as much time in the game as other teams. So, you can kind of give them a pass. But I don't remember them going to no AFC championships either. So there's that. Yeah. Um, San Diego Chargers. They ain't never been in no Super Bowl. I think there are a few more. Stacy White says, "Leave my Lions alone." I'm gonna leave them alone, but not tonight. Tonight I'm gonna beat on them. I'm gonna beat on them and beat on them and beat on them, beat on them, beat on them. Send them back. Send them back up to Michigan. Like, man, we'll get them later. We'll see. We're gonna see them in the playoffs. The Lions are a good team. They just have some perseverance issues. I know how it be. Shotty West says Lions and Cowboys first expansion team. I could be wrong about that. Lions and Cowboys? Lions not no expansion team. They've been in the league since forever. Oh, the first expansion teams. You might be right about that. No, I think the Lions. Hold on. Let me see. What year were the Detroit Lions established?
The Detroit Lions franchise began in 1929 as the Portsmouth Spartans in Ohio. They moved to Detroit in 1934 and were then renamed the Lions.
Yeah, man. I knew the Lions went back, way back. Now, I'm not saying they never won a championship. I think they have won an NFL championship, but I know they've never been to a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era, and they definitely, well, if you never go to the Super Bowl, you can't win one. So, and they were the only team to ever go 0-16. Oh and 16. Like who? How did y'all pull that off? Mia says, last time I was down on myself was after a serious accident and being severely injured in 2022. Sometimes I still get down because I feel like a former, I guess you mean version of yourself. But I know it's a journey, not a race. Yeah. Yeah, getting into like losing a physical capability or yeah. When you don't do something as well as you used to do it, or like when your body betrays you, your body sells you out while your mind is still like, yo, I'm telling you, we could do it, but your body is like, shit. Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. What's worse? Your body betraying you or your mind betraying you? Like, is it worse for your body just not to be able to do the things that it used to do? Or is it worse for your mind not to allow your body to do what it used to do? What do y'all think is worse? Yeah, they did go 0-16 before. Grown woman says, my mind is worse. I would have to agree with that. Damn, Stacy said, body betraying you. That's interesting. Your body betraying you is worse. Okay. Johnny says, yep, I'm wrong. Just Googled it. Absolutely wrong. Don't. Not even close. I knew the Lions had been in yeah. Now the Cowboys, you might be right on the Cowboys, but Detroit Lions go back, way back. Carla says, my mind is the worst. I saw too much of it. Dimple says the mind. Nara says my mind dictates more than my body in most cases. To me, it's like this. If you went to the doctor, this is all hypothetical, but think about this for a minute, y'all. As y'all hit the like button, make sure y'all hit the like button. Think about it like this. Would you rather get a bad medical report about your mind or your body? Now, hold on before y'all start getting too negative with the thinking. Like, no, don't tell me I'm about to die. No. Would you rather your doctor tell you, physically, you're not going to be able to do the things that you used to do? So maybe you're not going to walk anymore, or you're not going to be able to run anymore, or that career in athletics is a wrap for you. You can't do it. But still have your mind intact, to whereas maybe you can switch, instead of doing that physical thing that you used to do, you could do something else. Because yeah, your body is down in one area, but it doesn't mean that it's down in other areas. Or would you rather it be like, listen, man, ain't nothing wrong with you physically, but psychologically, you telling yourself all kinds of shit. You're making yourself sick. You're making yourself, you are literally destroying your body with your mind. What would you rather? Remember what we learned in science class all those years ago. Without the brain, nothing goes on with the body. The body has to report to the brain. The brain dictates everything that's going on with the body. That's what we learned, right? All right, so with that being said, I don't want to do this, but fuck it. Fuck it. All right. With a gun to your head. With a gun to your head. If you had to choose between having your legs cut off because of diabetes or something, or dementia, which would you choose? Your legs being cut off because you got that sugar, or dementia, where you losing your mind, dementia, Alzheimer's. You know what I'm talking about. Which one would you have to roll with? Which would you choose? Now I know neither one of them are favorable. You don't want either one. I get that. And please, none of y'all, please don't make me mad today and try to say neither one. Because we already know that it's neither one. But with a gun to your head, you don't get to choose. They've taken away all of your options. So what would it be for you? With a gun to your head, baby. With a gun to your head. Are you losing your legs? Wheelchair bound for the rest of your life? Or, now you're losing your legs, but your mind is still intact. You know what I mean? You still remember everybody around you, and maybe, or be nice, maybe, after you get your legs cut off, well, some of y'all may have experience with this, where where maybe y'all have people in your family who have been through this. Maybe they had to lose their legs. I tell you one thing, man. I got a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine who, he's a business associate of mine, and he had diabetes real bad, and he had to get his leg cut off. He had to get his leg cut off, but now he's doing good as shit. He's doing good. He got his little prosthetic leg. Yo, I saw him the other day, and I was like, yo, man, you getting around well now. I said, you used to your new leg, huh? He said, yo, he said, I'm about to get a new leg. They approved me for a new leg because, when I first got the prosthetic leg, when you first get your leg cut off, it's swollen and all of that. He said, but once you get yourself together, I'm going to rehab a lot and all of that. He said, I should be running by next month. Even though he was kidding, he wasn't. Even though he was kidding, he wasn't kidding. All right, let me see. All right. Cowboys are the first franchise team. Just thought they were both because of Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. Grown Woman says, once you lose your mental, it's over. You can recover some things that are physical. True. And she says, your body can adapt, but your mind can't. Your body can't adapt without your mind. That's for sure. And Carla says, I believe people can hide if something, can hide if something wrong, and if something is wrong in the mind, but most can see the physical. I don't know. When you really start going crazy, people want to see that shit. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Yo, he be bugging. Grown Woman says, and the mind does that. It tells you what you can and cannot do. True. And Nara says, Stephen Hawking comes to mind. Good example. Mia says, mind-body connection is so important. It's important for the mental to stay healthy. Johnny West says, I thought the Lions were an expansion team. I go to the gym all the time. If that tells you something. Carla says, son, you getting deep in it for real. Listen, I ain't done. I ain't done. Grown Woman says, I would have to cope with a physical disability, but I can't imagine what quality of life I would have if I lost my mental. Mia says, damn, I don't want dementia. Give me some of those new legs they give runners. And TK Wright says, the mind can and will adapt for the good or bad. I mean, for the good or bad, but sometimes it'll adapt much slower than the body. Stacy says, the blue button or the red button? Dimple says, the human body is adaptable. Many people with amputations live full, active lives with the help of prosthetics. Legs for me. I cut them. Oh, damn. Can you cut them? Can you cut them below the knee? I still might need to bend down. No? Got to lose the knee? All right. Saw number 9. All right. Mia says, lost my grandmother to dementia. It was horrible. Yeah, that dementia shit, because then you it's like being alone. You forget people who are, who you knew, memories that you had. Shit is real out here. I'm sorry about your grandmother to dementia. I lost my grandmother had dementia too. My great grandmother. So, when we talk about getting down on yourself with no help, can we actually say that there's no help? Because, I'm thinking that when you get down on yourself, you don't normally do that because you were super successful. You may start to get down on yourself because things aren't happening as fast as you want them to happen. Maybe they're not going in the direction that you had mapped out for yourself. Maybe some people who you thought would take that ride with you aren't taking the ride with you. And even though you are passionate about your vision and your direction, you really wish other people would have came along, and you're thinking that maybe this ain't the thing to do if nobody is coming along with me. I'm building this thing, but I have to have all new donors, all new supporters, all new people. My day ones are out. My day ones, where are you, day ones? Yo, son, hold on, y'all. Speaking of day ones, y'all just don't care about sound quality, huh? Ain't nobody say, yo, oh, you sound far away. Like, oh, where your microphone? Ain't nobody say nothing, huh? Y'all just like, yo, well, son, we rock with you. We rock with you. You ain't got to have, you know what I mean? You ain't got to have no microphone. You can use the camera microphone, the phone microphone. You said I could hear fine. No, now you hear fine. This is the way it's. You feel that bass? You feel that? You ain't feel that. If I took this, you couldn't. Let me show you something. Hold on. Grown women, don't try me. Grown woman, don't try me. Me. Carla. Spend all this money on production tools. You're going to use some goddamn phone, camera, microphone. No, 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 no. No, I will not. 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 I will not spend a lot of money on these production tools. You think I'm going to do this shit without that use a fool? I'm trying to make sure that I come through, be sounding crystal clear, yeah, right to you. And anybody else that's listening, I ain't trying to hear none of that other shit and stop dissing. I ain't trying to get down on myself. I'm trying to keep up physical plus my mental health. You know how it goes. Sometimes I feel fast, sometimes I feel slow, sometimes I rhyme. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. I was a 1-2-5 of St. Nick. Man. Y'all understand, man. Y'all don't always be understanding me. Y'all don't be understanding me. Mia said, we can hear you. No. Stop yelling. Stop yelling because we can. No. Carla said, I can hear you from the beginning. No. I heard fine before. Now you're being silly. No. Appreciate you, Nars. No. Now you doing too much. Our eardrums hurt. No. No. Double D says, I'm sorry. I thought due to stuffing voice, it was affecting the sound, but I still heard you. Nah, son. Nah. You bother our mental health by yelling at us. I'm literally gonna drop the tea on y'all. Spill the tea. No, I ain't gonna spill tea. I spilled enough with that nut ass top. He says, see, that's why you coughing. No, it's not why I'm coughing. I'm coughing because of that nut ass cold I had. But look, my voice is almost 100% normal now. What's up now? What's up now? The grown woman said, you just want to show off your equipment. I do. So in a minute, I'm gonna turn the camera around and let y'all see these lights. Look over there. Look at it. I got the good soundproofing in there. You see that? This is studio quality, son. You know what I mean? You see that? You see that soundproof? You see that microphone? That's the microphone that I use for when people call in. You see that? I got shit. That's why I'm not gonna be down on myself. Nope. Anyway, your mental health is paramount. Your mental health is paramount and essential to your well-being. You can't be healthy without being mentally stable. You can't. I hear people say things like that all the time. Like, yeah, they're a little crazy, but physically, he's in great shape. Like, to me, that's like saying, if you jump from a plane, if you jump out of a plane, even without a parachute, you good until you hit the ground. Not recognizing that is, depending on how far up you are, you can lose oxygen and be unconscious by the time you hit the ground. You can't breathe 30,000 feet up. That's why when people, skydive and all of that shit, they don't be 30,000 feet in the air. How far do they be? Let me see. How far up in the atmosphere do skydivers dive from? Skydivers do not typically dive from a specific high altitude. That's not what I asked you. Commercial skydivers, most commercial or recreational skydives occur between 10,000 and 14,000 feet, an altitude range where oxygen is not strictly necessary for the short duration of the flight and jump. Military and special jumps. Military halo, high altitude, low opening jumps are made from 15,000 to 35,000 feet. And these require supplemental oxygen. I said, Something, who's holding the cash. Shit, whenever I see people with something expensive, I be like, that ain't money you got. That's money you spent. I come from the back in the day ballers where niggas had jewels, cars, and money on them. Big fat knot. I come from the knot generation. This generation here is the no knot generation. I come from the bankroll, the big fat knot. Even the dummy knot. Y'all remember the dummy knot? The dummy knot, you had like 100 on top, and then the rest was like ones. You might have a 5 or a 10, maybe even a 20. This big ass fat knot you got equaled up to about $250. $100, 220s, 100 ones, 6 5s. That was the dummy knot. That was the why not. Grown woman said, I don't think the body can withstand the pressure at 30,000. Not without that oxygen tank like they was talking about. Nars says it's not what you make, but what you keep. I live by that. I live by that. I'm like, I ain't impressed by that shit you showing. You got your whole net worth. You wearing your whole net worth on your person. Like I could rob you and deplete your net worth down to zero. All the way down to zero, baby. And that ain't cool. That ain't cool, son. That ain't cool, you know what I mean? You gotta get it together, baby. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta get it together. Somehow, someday, some way. But everything gonna be all right, though. So getting down on yourself with no help. Why? Why? How come? Now, don't get me wrong, because I could understand, like, let's say if you were in a bad accident or you had a debilitating, degenerative condition, like an illness or something like that, I could understand how, not being able to do the things that you used to do or being told that you will never be able to do the things that you used to do. I could understand how isolating that could be, how emotionally and mentally isolating that may be. Because in your heart of hearts, you may be thinking like, yo, I want to do this thing again. I want to be able to do, live like a regular life like other people. Meanwhile, other people that may be extremely supportive of you. Like, yo, you still beautiful, you still handsome, you still great, you still good. It doesn't matter. Like, the person that you are is the most important thing. People will tell you that. Your good people will tell you that. And they'll reinforce it too. But how does it get to the point where that's not enough? What is it? That you don't believe them? I mean, really? You don't believe what they said? Do you think that they would lie to you? Stacey says you have to keep believing in yourself. You do. But what are the tools that you have to make sure that you can believe in yourself? Carla said, big knots. Wow. How you get those ties like that? That's pretty cool. Grown woman says, you can't wallow in self-pity. That's what keeps you down. Right. But how do you even get to self-pity town? How is it that your GPS took you to self-pity, to that self-pity party? You might have been trying to get the Chick-fil-A. I saw a video today, man. I saw this video and they were talking about it was like 10 major corporations and products that support MAGA and all of that Donald Trump shit. And they had the usual suspects on there like Target. But then they had a couple on there that I didn't expect or didn't really think about. They had two Dasani. I thought Dasani water was made by Coca-Cola. But the person in the video was saying that it was made by Pepsi-Cola. Who makes Dasani water?
Dasani water is made by the Coca-Cola Company.
That's what I thought.
Launched in 1999. The water goes through purification, including reverse osmosis, and then minerals are added to improve its taste. It's sourced from public water systems, sometimes protected groundwater.
That shit is garbage. It's like one of the worst waters that you can buy. Art of Mine 559. What up, my dude? Good to see you. Yeah, so they had Dasani and they had another Coca-Cola product. But we knew. I ain't gonna say we knew, but I knew Coca-Cola supported Trump, and Trump drinks a lot of Diet Coke. That's his drink. Diet Coke is his shit. So you know he's all into branding. So I was like Dasani and whatever that other drink was. I'm like, well, you know, Coke been sellouts for since they had Coke in it's whatever, man. If you know the story about how Pepsi came into prominence, it was because Coke was fronting on black people. Pepsi was the black drink. Not ownership, don't get me wrong, but they had a black marketing executive at Pepsi. That's why people, that's why a lot of black people drink Pepsi. Real shit. It's a crazy story. You should look it up. It's dope. Mia says it can be a series of events that happen that makes it hard to see up or a way out. That's true. But you talk to so many people and they'll tell you that they folks was never supporting them, that they people, that they spouses, they lovers, they friends, they didn't help out, they didn't represent, they didn't show up, they didn't help. So, the question stands like, well, if it's a situation where your folks did show up, your friends did show out, your lover is supportive, your spouse is on point, why are you making the job for yourself so hard? Where is that coming from? Where is that stemming from? And there may not be one answer for it, but getting down on yourself with no help, you just there practicing depression all by yourself and getting good at it. Practicing depression all by yourself. You don't need no help. All we need is a drummer to give us that funky beat. Not the Sly and the Family Stone version. The Pumpkin and the All-Stars version. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Just all by yourself practicing depression. And getting good at it. Where's that coming from? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? But it happens. It happens. If you get too good at it, though, it can lead to catastrophic events. But when you think about how interesting it is, how the negative thinking is born. like how it gets to even be in the conversation. And somehow it's born. I don't know if it happens through sexual contact or if it gets delivered by the stork. But somehow it makes its way in and it takes a seat and gets mad comfortable. Now, how do we get so comfortable with being uncomfortable? What part of the game is that? How do we get so comfortable with being uncomfortable? You know, when we start taking that into consideration, we probably come up with a variety of answers, you know? But there's a difference between coming up with an answer and coming up with a solution. There's a difference between coming up with an answer and coming up with a solution. There's a difference between coming up with an answer and coming up with a solution. That's my dedication to Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde. Gotta say it 3 times. You gotta say it 3 times. You gotta say it 3 times. Speaking of Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde, you can say what you want to about Dr. Umar. What you can't say about Dr. Umar is that he gets so down on himself that he disappears or that he stops trying. There's no evidence that he does that. You might consider him to be off the wall, goofy, kooky, a swindler, scammer, whatever. But what he does not do is get to the point where he says, you know what? I can't do this. This Pan-Africanism ain't working out. What's the use of being the Prince of Pan-Africanism? He doesn't show any signs of doing that. When he said that the bank had frozen his accounts and he had no money, he was relegated to asking people for money, begging for money online. People was definitely coming at his neck. Then he was supposed to have lost his school, FDMG, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for black boys. If he was going to get down on himself, that would have been the time, I would have thought. But he stayed mentally tough and he pushed through. I ain't mad at that. I thought that was pretty impressive. So whether you agree with his message and with his messaging, I think we can all take a small page out of Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde's Johnson's playbook. Mia says, anxiety can play a part. Always wanting a thing to be perfect to the point that you self-sabotage. Artemon says, comfort in uncomfortable environments, itty bitty anxiety. Well. Yeah. Yeah. But we're talking about with no motivation. Like I said, you know, you take the Dr. Umar example, people was really coming at his neck. And it's really hard. It's really hard to, you know, keep your wits about you and stay motivated when people are booing. The boo birds was in effect. The struggle streamers, as he called them, the struggle streamers was at his neck, and they really were. He fought against them, stayed mentally tough, and handled his business. He didn't lose that school. For what it's worth, he did not lose it. And I didn't see none of those people who was chronicling his downfall. I didn't hear any of them mention like, yo, he didn't lose the school. Not a word. The end of August, though, they was at his neck. Struggle streamers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to promote Dr. Ifa Tunde. But look at ourselves. Getting down on ourselves with no help. Nobody's booing. Nobody dissing. Nobody criticizing. Nobody coaching. Nobody telling you how to do things. Nobody controlling. Here we are, just in our little corner of our rooms, in our places, bitching, telling ourselves that we ain't good enough, or that How many of y'all have been at home by yourself, or even if you wasn't by yourself, using your own little corner of your own existence, bitching about a decision that you made with somebody else? I knew I shouldn't have fucked him back in 1998. If I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be here today. My brother Time is in the house. What up? Good to see you, my dude. It's been a little minute. You know what I mean? It's only been a week and a half, but yo, whenever you're gone, I feel the absence. And when you're back, I'm blessed by the presence. What up? But yeah, bitching. How about this one? Because it can't be me. You got into an argument with somebody, a discussion with somebody, and there was a point that you didn't make in real time. And later on, you thinking like, I should have, when he said this, I should have said that. Or when she said that, I should have said this. But that's not how it went. You might have still won the argument, if there's a such thing as winning an argument. You may have still persevered in the discussion. You got your point across. But you like, why didn't I? Like, you just dropped the ball. You just dropped the ball in that situation, and you know what I mean? You're never going to get a chance to right that ship. I should have said. When these MAGA crazy nuts be talking about the Democrats had 4 years to bring out the Epstein files. Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they do it? And when they be talking to certain Democrats in interviews and they be asking, well, you know, Biden had the Epstein files for 4 years. Why didn't he bring it out? And I be thinking like, yo, tell them that nobody was asking for the Epstein files when Biden was president. This nigga ran on that. Trump ran on it. So you can't push that back to Biden. I'll be like, why didn't you say that? And I'll be wondering when they get off of when they finish the interviews, do they be thinking like, damn, why ain't I thinking that? Yeah. Oh, Trump he the one who, only reason we even give a shit about this because he was the one asking for it. He said he was going to do it. It was him. Or there was an ongoing investigation. You can't release the files when an investigation is still going on. And there was actively during the Biden administration. But they probably didn't know these things. But I wonder if they found them out later on, like, did they think like, oh man, when they was pressing me about the whole Epstein files and how come Biden didn't release them, how come Obama didn't release them? Like, yo, he got convicted and killed during the Trump administration. What about that? What about that? All right, but anyway. Carla says, to tell the truth, I'm guilty of that. Yo, shit, it can happen to anybody. For real. Time says self-doubt comes from not being self-sufficient and trusting yourself. Is that where it comes from? It may have other origins. Carla says nobody cared then, but they do now. He made them care. This motherfucker still on podium after podium, rally after rally, campaign stop after campaign stop talking about Epstein files. I'm going to drain the swamp again. Nigga, you said that back in 2015. But okay. Tom says, always a blessing and a pleasure to be educated on something wise and knowledgeable every time I'm in your presence. Appreciate that, my dude. I do. So yeah, man. Yeah. You in your own little world. Like, damn. She was getting on me about feeling on Tisha's titties. But she ain't say nothing about when she was blowing Daryl. And I forgot to bring up when she was blowing Daryl. Fuck. Feeling on Tisha's titties. You know big titty Tisha. I know you know big butt Tisha, but we talk about big titty, big juicy titty Tisha. And sure, she might have been blowing Daryl. She might have been chewing Daryl off when y'all first got together. So you couldn't really call on it. But then in the heat of an argument, you could. I'm just saying, Carla, you know, when you get in an argument, get in an argument with your baby, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of things you be Monday morning quarterback and about later on, like the nerve, the fucking nerve, the nerve of her to say this or that, the nerve of him to accuse, to insinuate, Nick, yo. And you know at work, they will bring out all the regret of a discussion out of you. You know what I mean? If you're a conscious employee that's aware of the HR guidelines, so you know that there's certain things that you can't say and still be all right with HR. But there are certain ways you could have worded it if you was on your toes at the time. Yeah. If you would have just worded it this way, instead of that way, everything would have turned out fine. But no, you wasn't on your John that day. You wasn't sharp. It happens. Tom said back in the days of the secretaries. Yeah, I'm sorry. Back in the days, is the secretaries used to do the damn thing with the boss, and they used to take dictation to the next level. And back then, women sucked their way to the top. Joy Taylor. Oh, like Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor bad though, man. Like Joy Taylor bad. I'd be like, if you gonna go out like Emmanuel Acho, I can't think of a lot of bad reasons. Joy Taylor bad in the motherfuckers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And evidently, she ain't got no picks. You ain't got to be black. Shout out to Skip Bayless. She don't give a fuck. You come through with the goods, I'll bring you joy. You bring me joy. Like Anita Baker. But it's Joy Taylor. But anyway. None of them got a show now. Everybody off the network. Everybody out. That's how it turns out. Artemon said, not being subliminal, but what's the brown in the drink? No, it's the brown is because of the beets and the greens. You know, we got green and red here. So that's why it looked brownish. But if you look closer, it's more. Nah, it's brown. I was gonna say it's more reddish. No, it's brown. It's brown. Yeah, that's the beets and the greens. It's the beets and the grains up in here. The beets and the grains up in here. Oh, and that's not dirt at the bottom. That's black seed. That's black seed. That's why I have to like swish it around and shit. All of that shit will be left at the bottom like sediment. That's black seed. That's black seed. Cumin. Tom says, she could be bad as ever. This is what the problem is with the young brothers today. Instead of knowing what that purpose is, they're playing in the pussycat. They're playing in the pussycat. Thank goodness, everything. I don't know, man. They got the money so they could get the pussy. So I guess they figured it's just a casualty of the game. Shout out to Emmanuel Acho. Even though I don't really like him. Yeah, he got a song with Shady McCoy. And that whoever that Cowboys fan is, I don't know, light-skinned young boy. You know what I mean? What's that shit called? The Speakeasy. The Speakeasy. It ain't on the network. It's on YouTube. The Speakeasy. They come on late. We talking about all the football shit. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. All right, says, I thought that was beets and greens. Okay, yeah. Beets and greens. Beets in the collards. It's seasoned up right, though. It's pretty good. Well, seed got out. Okay. Yeah, man. Stacy said, do you ever get tired of drinking your drink? Well, I only drink it a couple of times a day. Sometimes just once. Most of the time just once. I think I tell you what, I get tired of making the drink. That shit take a minute. I be like, yo, I'm gonna whip the joint up in like 15 minutes. No, it take a half an hour to get that shit together. You gotta be cutting vegetables. You gotta be mixing and blending. That shit, it take a minute. Gotta peel the garlic cloves and shit. You know how bad I just be wanting to throw the whole bulb in there. Like, yo, just cut that shit up. Man, That won't work. Tom says, the show is trash. The brother Acho is more like Carlton or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You ain't never lied. The brother gives me bad vibes, and man, he looked like he will sell you out in 2 seconds to get ahead of you. Well, he wasn't a very good football player. He played for the Eagles for a little while. He was trash. But he speaks well. But I totally understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree. Yeah. Broadcasting is definitely his profession. Football wasn't. He wasn't like that at all. You ain't gonna see a whole lot of Emmanuel Acho highlights. Stacey White said, "What did I miss? Stepped out of the room for a minute. Man, you missed everything. I showed everybody how to make this drink. Should have been here. Oh well, catch the replay." Tom said, his brother's a great guy. I like it. I like his brother. His brother be on ESPN sometimes. Oh, okay. I didn't even know his brother. Audemars says, I have pineapple, honeydew, melon, Turner's on crushed ice right now. That's what's up. Oh, my bad. I read that all wrong. I have pineapple, honeydew, melon, turmeric on crushed ice right now, Stacey. That's what's up. That's what's up. The other way just sounded like what's up. That's actually what's up. Yeah, getting down on yourself. You know, this is what we're going to do. Because I really only meant to go an hour and a half. So we're going to start taking it down here. We're going to start taking it down. We're going to walk it down. As far as getting down on yourself with no help, from my point of view, you always have a little bit of help. Even if it's just with or coming from the things that you have experienced previously, or people that you know or who are around you, or even if it's just your ambitions. You know, when you're ambitious and when you're really motivated to do something and make something happen in your life and in your world, it can definitely have an effect on how you view yourself as far as the competition that you may have developed for yourself in your mind. But you got to stay the course. Like I said earlier, negative thoughts are always going to be able to creep their way in, but you have to counter them with positive thoughts. And you have to practice doing that, because if you don't practice doing it, if you only do it once, it's not going to work. It's not going to help you. You have to find a way to keep pulling back your arrows and shooting a bow. You see you have a negative thought, bow. Get them on up out of there. Get them on up out of there. Get him up out of there like Trump does people who heckle him at rallies. Audemars says, self-mastery, son. Exactly. Anything you practice at, you're going to get better at. But that's good and bad. So you practice something. If you practice doing something wrong, you're going to get real good at doing it wrong. If you practice doing something right, you're going to get better at it. Now, how much better you get at either one of them than anyone else, you have a lot of control over that. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday people who were born on this glorious October, November 16th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Terry Hall, and also Anise Francis and Shani Uptown, Danelia Gamillion, Takia Stokes, Jonette D. Allen, Chanel Cash, Mazalisha, Fania Guzman, Glenda Florence, Daryl Springs, Siobhan Long, Allison Cunningham, Leon, DJ Leon Lynch, Leah Clouden, and my man from all the way back in the day, the Penn State days, my man Carl Jones. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious, glorious November 16th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, listen, man, you got to keep your good thoughts about you, because the negative ones will not move without you. Real shit. Like I said, it's a practice, man. You get good at anything you practice at. So you practice at feeling good and you will feel good most of the time. If you practice at feeling bad, telling yourself that you're not good enough, that will become you. And I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. We don't want no part of that. So I wish y'all all the best in that regard. Let me see. Tom says, please tell them about that natural honey with the comb instead of honey. That is my favorite honey right there. Honey with the ginger mint leaf, real turmeric. I like it on my chicken. That's what's up. And Artemis says, I can't speak of Trump. He got Patel eyes out here. He might Cash Patel eyes. Yeah, he might put a hit out on me. You ain't never lied. Mia says, my Aquarius brain does that all the time. Thinks of good ish to say hours later, want to go back and revisit the conversation, but it's too late by then. Learn and practice, self-sufficient. Nobody can do it better than you. Hey, listen, I tell myself that I'm the best all the time. I don't give a fuck. I could have just got an F. That F means free. Use my independence to get back on the horse. And you know what I mean? We're going to ride out. We're going to ride it out. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night. Monday going into Tuesday, 2 a.m. in the morning. Y'all know how we do. And y'all know where we do. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. Share the show, subscribe to the channel, all that old good shit. All that old good shit. And y'all have a good afternoon. Have a good night. Go Birds. And I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.